Founded in 2014, the Extraordinary Achievers' vision is to empower others to be the best version of themselves. The show is hosted by Chief Lady Waynette Peters, a multi-entrepreneur, empowerment speaker, confidence mentor, positive lifestyle coach, humanitarian ambassador, and a TV host. Lady Waynette is a holder of over 35 international awards for her humanitarian, philanthropic, and international empowerment contributions and holds 2 chieftaincy titles. Welcome to the Extraordinary Achievers Show.
We welcome you back. Thank you for joining us. YouTube viewers, Twitter viewers, LinkedIn viewers, Facebook platforms, Meetup, our live TV website viewers, thank you for joining us once again. And if you've joined us for the first time today, we would like to say thank you to the amazing Extraordinary Achievers Family Show. And we would like to ask you to please share with someone. Today we're talking about purpose. The Extraordinary Achievers is a non-profit organization. We are an online TV production bringing a weekly online program covering topics and areas ranging from mindfulness, self-awareness, self-development, and empowerment. True stories, community interests and affairs, and we interview coaches, industry experts, and individuals either with the awareness to the topic that we are on or experts with the aim of creating awareness. And today we are joined by some more amazing industry experts with experience that join us today. And remember, none of us know it all. But what are we doing? We're sharing information. And that's what we'll be doing today. And we hope you get involved as you join us. What is our purpose on earth? Are we all created and born for a purpose? What is the purpose of life? How do we find our purpose? How do we know when we have found our purpose? Earlier last week, I made a video poem as I thought about purpose, and I would like to share it with you now. Have a look.
Oh, purpose, what are you? Purpose, what do you feel like? Purpose, what do you sound like? Is our ultimate challenge on earth to find you? Purpose, do you complete us? How big or small do you have to be? Speak purpose, show yourself. Do we all have to climb Mount Everest? Or are some of us just meant to sit at the bottom of the mountain, waiting to give water to those that completed the climb, or waiting to nurse those exhausted from the climb? What are we here on earth for? Purpose, can you hear us? Purpose, we command you to reveal yourself. Oh, purpose, what are you?
Thank you for watching my poem. I love writing poems and I enjoyed writing that one. I'd like to acknowledge some of our viewers and audience as their comments come up on the screens. We thank you so much for your interaction. Sir Kay says, hello everyone, and we would like to say happy birthday to you. It was Sir Collar's birthday on Monday the 19th, and we at the Extraordinary Achievers Show and all our viewers would like to wish you a very happy, merry birthday year. May everything you wish for come true. Happy birthday, Sir Kay. And that is the CEO of Sound Mind. Melissa says good evening, and good evening to you, Dole. Bangi says good evening, so happy to be back here, and good evening to you, and so nice to have you back here. And Seke says I'm always happy to be here, and we are always delighted to having you here. And Vicky says hi, gorgeous, and hey, and hi everyone, and hi, gorgeous to you too, and thank you for joining us. Seke says thank you for the quality of service you're rendering, and thank you because you're doing some amazing work with Sound Mind all over the world, and We really appreciate what you're doing in the community. Holly says, good evening. Looking forward for the show today. And good evening to you, Holly. And indeed we are. And just to let you know, Holly, I am still waiting for that check in the post that you promised me. If I wore blue, I wore blue again. Please check. Got 4 now. Melissa says, Lady in Cape Stunning. Love you, doll. Thank you for joining us. And blessings to you too, my darling Vicky friend. And thank you for being amazing and sharing the extraordinary achievers at every single platform and opportunity that you, Vicky Gavi, can get to do. We appreciate you 1,000,001 times. Bangi says, beautiful poem, and thank you for that. Amara says, good evening, everyone, and good evening to you, Amara. Samuel Dinzi says, good evening, good to be here, and it's so great to have you back on the show. Bangi says, beautiful poem, and we acknowledge that, and we are grateful. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Now let's meet our guests that we have today. We have some amazing guests. We expect to have an amazing show. After all, we are talking about purpose. How greater can a topic be than purpose? We have Nisha Zala. Let's introduce you to Nisha. Nisha, welcome onto the Extraordinary Achievers Show.
I'm so lucky and so honored to be here. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Thank you. And we are excited for having you. Nisha Zala is a transformational speaker, a resilience therapist, mental health coach, TV and a film actress. Nisha Zala has gone from overcoming adversity to award-winning life coach and transformational speaker. She has learned to be resilient through the storms of life and embrace the challenges life has thrown at her. Nisha is a dynamic light, here to empower men and women to find their voices through trauma, mental health, addiction, adversities, and spiritual battles. To provide a roadmap on how one can channel their pain and make it their power and purpose. Nisha is recognized in a field of transformation, trauma recovery, and has been coaching people since 2014. When Nisha addresses her audience, they feel uplifted, inspired, and encouraged to begin channeling their past pains and turning that into their power. And that is through her coaching, speaking, and therapy. Nisha has spoken at various events, workshops, and given trainings to charity, mental health, and annual district events. She has been a radio presenter and host for 6 years, leading a successful ministry on Clubhouse and working on her upcoming book based around healing trauma, and which is due to be released later this year. Nisha, once again, welcome. Nisha, can you just give us an introduction to your purpose? Do you feel that you're walking in purpose? Have you found your purpose?
Well, first of all, wow, that's been that's amazing, and thank you so much for that powerful and humble introduction. I'm absolutely honored. Thank you so much. You know, it's taken years to get to this place of finally feeling like I have my calling and my purpose. And it hasn't come easy. It's come with a lot of perseverance. It's come with a lot of tenacity. It's come with me putting the work in to myself to know who I am, why I'm here, what I'm about, and why do I exist, to be able to start stepping into my strength. And then from that, I am a believer of the divine God. So for me, I believe that, the degree that I did was in marketing communications. However, I am so humbled to experience that degree, but it wasn't my calling. It wasn't where I was to end up and what I was supposed to be doing. I ended up now becoming a transformational speaker, and being able to speak and train and mentor people who are vulnerable, going through challenges, and able to help them find a place of strength. And I believe that we can look at the experiences that we have personally gone through, that will be I guess a great start to see what our purpose is. So thank you so much for that question.
Thank you, and we thank you for answering our first question for this program today. We will be back with you shortly. We are now going to introduce you to our next mind coach, Nikki Peterson. Nikki, good evening and welcome on the Extraordinary Achievers Show.
Good evening, and thank you for having me this evening.
Thank you. No, it's a great honor, and thank you for saying yes. After walking away from an unfulfilling 22-year corporate career, going on to beating cancer, she embarked on a magical, transforming journey of self-discovery. She says that she set out to find her on purpose in life. On her website, it reads, "You only get one life, make it count." Mindset coaching involves changing your thought process, learning to live consciously through self awareness, overcoming emotional trauma from toxic relationships, changing the way you interact with the world, and ultimately teaching you how to create your own reality. That page ends up by saying, "This is the journey of a life transforming journey." And this is the beginning of a life transforming journey. Thank you so very much for that. That was a little clip that I found on your website, and I thought, oh, I would like to to be able to share that with our audience. We thank you for that. Now, Nikki, are we all created for a purpose? Do we all have a purpose?
Yes, I believe each and every individual is born with a gift, but a lot of people they lose connection to their inner voice or to their inner being, their intuition. We always refer to it as sort of your gut feel. So people get caught up in the external world because as you grow and you develop and you evolve, your external world, being people around you, start to push their opinions and their views onto you. And from that, you start to create your own belief system about what people are saying about you, but it's not necessarily true. Once you've created that belief system, from that belief system, you then develop an image. And that image is what you portray to the rest of the world, but that is not who you actually are. You will have other individuals that are very well connected to the intuition. And we all know those people that from a young age knew they wanted to be a doctor, they wanted to be a fireman, they wanted to be a CEO of a company. And they were always connected to their intuition. So a lot of us dip out on really understanding what our purpose is until we start doing the work. When we start with that question of there has to be more to life than what is currently going on. Most of us are existing. We're not living. We are surviving. We are not thriving. And when we start to break away all the layers of everything that's been placed on us unnecessarily, and we start to understand who we really are, you will find that gift. And with that gift comes talents and skills that was given to you to fulfill your purpose in life. So yes, I do believe that every single person has a purpose. They have a very special gift.
So we all have a purpose. We all have a special gift. Nikki, thank you so much to the introduction onto this show. We will be back with you shortly as we now introduce to you Professor Oluwafemi Asham. He is a professor of transpersonal psychology at Elroy London University, the Vice Chancellor PhD in transpersonal psychology, and a principal consultant in transpersonal psychology. Professor, good evening and welcome back onto the Extraordinary Achievers Show.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Thank you. Thank you for saying yes. That's the most important thing. His focus is on a non-religious concept of spirituality, transpersonal psychology with psychosynthesis coaching, the development of the transpersonal self through spiritual coaching. Professor Oluwafemi Esan organizes seminars and workshops on transpersonal awareness with the application of transpersonal psychology in everyday living. His next workshop is on finding meaning in life through transpersonal identity discovery, and that will be on Thursday, the 29th of July at 9 a.m. You will explore what self-concept is and its impact on life, talk about identity crisis and finding your vision. Professor, thank you for coming back on a second week running.
Thank you.
We absolutely enjoyed you last week as we
Thank you.
looked at as we looked at last week's topic, and today we've moved on to talking about our purpose. Now, do we all have a purpose? Are we born with a purpose, or do we just come across the purpose in life? Are we created for a purpose?
Wow, that is very interesting. And I think the beginning of this idea about purpose, if you look at the meaning of purpose itself, it means the original intent in the heart of a manufacturer, a maker. So if you believe that this life we live was created by an ultimate reality, and that is what we call God in transpersonal psychology. The simple analogy for purpose is that every manufacturer goes into production with an intent in his heart. So if we are manufactured and created by a higher power, the higher power, while he was creating me and you, has an original intent in his heart for creating us. And it's simple. If you look, the principles of purpose is seen in nature. I teach biology in the university. If you look at every created things have a structure, and within the structure they function. In other words, you are structured to function. What that means, when it comes to we humans, we have been designed by the combination of our genetics that determines our personality, our gift, our talent to function in a particular area of influence. So you are structured by the ultimate reality to function. And so he has equipped you with the ability for your purpose. In a nutshell, there is purpose, but purpose is fulfilled through gifts. When you see your talent and your giftings, they fulfill your purpose, because your talent and your giftings are given to you to fulfill purpose. And it's very simple. Once you are able to discover your talent, your giftings, then you know you're functioning, and that is your purpose. So purpose is given in every creation. That's the principle of creation. Thank you.
Purpose is given in every creation. Thank you, Professor. I was watching a video, and they were and it was talking about in terms of creation, in terms of success, and the example was given about a phone, for instance, and how it's created for a purpose. And it went on to say before it leaves the warehouse and is packed to go into a box, it has been created for a purpose before it goes out. And that's in line with what you've just said, that we are all created, we are created for a purpose. And you also touched on something that Nikki also said when she said we are created for a purpose and with a gift. Thank you. Professor, we would like to address some comments from our viewers, and we will be back with you shortly. The viewers are from wherever you are watching us from: Twitter, LinkedIn, Meetup, YouTube, our website. We would like to say thank you so very much. And all the various Facebook platforms that we are airing live on, we thank every single admin from those platforms that has allowed us to air live on them. We are super, super grateful. We know that we are live on over 50 Facebook platform pages, and we are also live on our website, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Meetup. So welcome wherever you are. Thank you. We apologize that only the comments that we can read are the ones coming from Facebook or from YouTube. We acknowledge your presence. Podcaster Noma says everything, one is born with a purpose. Everyone is born with a purpose. We agree. Amara says everyone is born with a gift and talent. Thank you. Amara goes on to say, we need to know ourselves from the inner beings so what the outer being says about us doesn't push us into their own boats. Self-awareness. And Pharaoh Richard says, good evening, Wynette and friends. Loving the topic of the convo this evening. My good friend, good evening, and nice to see you on the show. Vicky says, well, I think we all have a purpose on this earth. Some may be heal and light workers, Stasis, Indigo Child, or to change the world and bring the light which take out the darkest and raises the conscious mind. Service and giving back is important to me and to help anyone who needs it with love and compassion. We know that one. You're full of that compassion, and we love you for that. Norma says, whether we know what our purpose is or not, we have one. And just to say, Norma has just written a book that is to be launched next weekend. And boy, am I looking forward to the book launch. Norma, please do post in the link details for the book launch. And I look forward to seeing you then. A question was once asked, how do we know if you are on the right path? How do you know if you're on the right path? And the answer that was given then was, when you do things without feeling compromised, without feeling like you're betraying yourself, when what you're doing is not costing you your self-value, when you feel like you can be tired but not drained. At the end of this program, we want to be able to say something like, when people ask us questions, like when people say to me, what is my work purpose and what do I do? And I always say, I train entrepreneurs and creative people to take decisive actions so they can get their greatest work into the world. That's what I feel my work purpose is. Training entrepreneurs and creative people to take decisive actions so they can get their greatest work out into the world. When people ask me what is my personal purpose, my answer is I change people. I change people's lives by making their dreams become their reality. That's what I feel my personal purpose is. Changing people's lives by making their dreams become their reality. After this show, it would be lovely to see you sending some comments through on what you feel your purpose is. We would like to go back to Professor. Professor, welcome back onto our screens. And once again, thank you for your time. Professor, what is the purpose of one's life? Is it something that is designated to them by someone else? Can I show someone the purpose of their life, or do they have to discover it themselves?
Thanks so much for the question. If you look at the concept of purpose, it's an individual discovery. Somebody put this way: your purpose is not your decision, it's your discovery. I'll say it again. Your purpose is not your decision, is your discovery. Why is that? Because we did not choose to come into this world. There's a higher power that has sent us to this world. We don't decide when we are born or where we were born. We don't decide the combination of the gift and the talent that we have. All these are decisions outside our consciousness. Yeah. And so one thing we believe in transpersonal psychology, there's a state we call pre-personal. That state is your existence before you are formed in your mother's womb. Your existence before you are formed in your mother's womb. So you are on a journey of evolution. The reason being that you and me, we had been in existence before we manifest. I'll say it again. We have been in existence before we manifest in our mother's womb. So purpose is a personal evolution, a personal journey. It's a journey of personal discovery. You cannot help somebody to discover their purpose. You can guide them to evolve, to find out, to look for the inner cravings and yearnings of their heart, of the spirit man. The reality is every individual has the personal responsibility to discover, develop, and deploy their gift. By that, they will fulfill their purpose. Why is that? Purpose is fulfilled by gift and talent. Thank you.
Professor, thank you. And we've got a question that I think aligns with what you're saying from Bangi. Bangi has this question for us. She says, is purpose found or created? I think that's in line with your response. But in a nutshell, please answer it back for her.
Yeah, purpose is within creation because the manufacturer has the original intention before it goes into creation. Every manufacturer has an idea, a concept in his mind before it goes into production of a particular product. It's the same way purpose is found in creation, everything created. So your purpose, you are born with your purpose, you are created with your purpose. Purpose is inherent with your creation. You are carrying your purpose within you. Thank you.
Professor, we thank you for answering that question. We are now going to bring Coach Nikki. Coach Nikki, welcome back on the Extraordinary Achievers screens. Coach Nikki, we have a question for you. And the question is as follows. Professor Rotimi, we would like to acknowledge your presence on the Extraordinary Achievers show. Thank you for joining us. Professor Rotimi says, what's the difference between purpose and destiny?
Purpose, if we go back to what Professor said, I agree with what he had said. Your purpose is created before you were even born. So your journey in life will uncover your purpose. And that is the joy of living this human life is you will evolve, you will grow, you will change, you will uncover good things about yourself, bad things about yourself. You'll learn to understand how you interact with the world, how you relate to the world, how you fit into the world. And as you go through that journey, you will ultimately discover your purpose. Your destiny is what your purpose is going to uncover. Because if you have fully found your purpose and you are living a purpose-driven life, you have fulfilled your destiny. And that is what you are here to do. And there are very few people that will reach that full commitment and that enjoyment of destiny because so many people are living an unpurposeful life. When they're just caught up in the chaos of everyday life, what I call the tumbleweed effect, where they just bounce around from day to day, caught up in the chaos of everyday living, but they are not experiencing what life is actually about. And without experiencing and finding your purpose, the gift that was given to you when you were born, and fulfilling that purpose, and giving the world what is expected from yourself, in terms of living the full potential of that special gift that was given to you, you are not fulfilling your destiny. And that is my view on that point.
Thank you, Coach Nikki, for answering that question. We are now going to pose the next question to our next coach that is with us today. Coach, once again, thank you for being with us. Coach Nisha, this question is for you. Melissa asks this question, is a purpose-driven life the same as a passion-driven life? Is a purpose-driven life the same as a passion-driven life? In other words, is your purpose the same as your passion?
You could be. Thank you so much for this question, Melissa. It's a beautiful question. you could be passionate about so many different things. You could be passionate about, veganism. I'm a vegan, so veganism, saving the animals. You could be passionate about wanting to see children off the streets, and there's so many things that can create your passion. However, your purpose is that one thing that lifts you up, that makes you want to wake up in the morning. It ignites you, and your purpose is slightly different from your passion. However, you have to be passionate about your purpose. So your purpose, for instance, find out what your wound is. Find out what was your major struggle in life. What has been the thing that has helped you, or you have overcome? That will then define where your purpose is, because it could be your purpose could be purpose driven about saving people from being in dark places like depression or anxiety. It could be your purpose could be helping people define their voices and share that with the world, open up their inner being, expressive. It could be helping disability people have a purpose in this world, that they are not forgotten, and that they are driven to do something other than have their disability. So your purpose is something that you're driven for. It's what ignites you. It's what calls you in this world, that sets you apart. But you could be passionate about so many different things. So it definitely is, you definitely have difference in passion and purpose, but you have to be passionate about what you're doing. So in a way, it is, you could be passionate about your purpose as well, but that with the purpose, it's one driven, whereas the passion, you could be passionate about so many different things, but you won't be divining, you won't be doing so many different things, because there's only one of you. So your purpose is that one thing that drives you. Thank you.
Amazing. Fantastic. Thank you for saying that. I would like to add to Melissa, to say, Melissa, you can use your passion, as Coach Nash said, that you can be passionate about so many different things that you can be passionate about, but it's identifying when passion and purpose become entangled in one. And I would like to add on by saying you can use your passion to ignite that purpose that is through you. Because when you have got that purpose, there comes a time in life when you're going to need to be very, very passionate about it to carry your purpose through. Like I say, my passion really in for life is what came through to my purpose in life. We would like to thank you, Coach, for responding to that. We have another question coming up, and the question's coming up from Collar. Collar, we will be back with you shortly, Coach. Let's take this question from Collar. And Collar asks this question. So when people say, what should I do with my life, or what is my life purpose, how will you respond to such a question? So when people say, what should I do with my life, or what is my life purpose, how would you respond to such a question? Okay, so I would like to respond to this one, and I will then give it to our guests to further respond to it. I came across a teaching that said, in order for a human being to succeed in life, you must first define and answer these questions. Who am I? Identifying your identity. Apparently, an average human being never asks that question. Then you have to ask yourself, where am I from? Identifying your source. The next question you have to ask yourself is, why am I here? Identifying your purpose. What can I do? Identifying your potential. Where am I going? Identifying your destiny. So first of all, it's about self-assessing yourself when you ask the question, what is my purpose and where am I going? Understanding the inner you yourself. So ask your question, who am I? Identifying your identity. Where am I? Identifying your source. Why am I here? Identifying your purpose. What can I do? Identifying your potential. Where am I going? Identifying one's destiny. Breaking it down and in another teaching on how those living in purpose happily feel, if they're walking in purpose, they have an understanding of who they are. They understand what it is that they do, who they're doing it for, understanding what those people that they're doing it for want or need, and what they're getting out of what they're doing. So how do they change as a result? I think it's about what you do it with love. What you do, if you feel supremely qualified to teach other people, who would you do it for? What do those people want or need? How do those people change or transform as a result? Time for us just to take a breather and think. Let's read some comments actually coming through, and we'll see if there are any more questions for us to address. And caller, I will still have our guest also respond to your question. Vicky says beautiful and thank you. Norma says, amen. We have been and will always be there. So no death, we're just evolution according to what we need to learn. Bangi says, thank you, Professor, for answering. Norma says, when we become disconnected from our greater source, then we find it hard to make our connection in this life we are living. Bangi says, when something comes naturally, would you recognize it as your passion? Coach Nikki, when something comes naturally, would you recognize it as your passion? Coach Nikki, if you'd like to answer that question for us.
Yes, because what comes naturally to you is a passion. And exactly what you said earlier, your passion is going to drive your purpose. Mm-hmm. So when I start helping people with that question that you asked about, what is my purpose? What must I do with my life? The very first question, as you put it so nicely, is it's about self-awareness. Who are you? Most people out there have no idea who they are. And when you start delving into the barriers that you've created, the beliefs you've created about yourself, the way you see yourself in the world, and this image that you've created about yourself, and you start breaking down some of those disempowering beliefs, and you start understanding who you really are, you will find that passion, because that is part of your gift. That is almost like a little breadcrumb that's put there to almost help you find that purpose, because that passion is going to drive you towards your purpose. So for somebody, like as an example, in my own personal life, I've always had a passion for people. I connect well with people. I love to motivate and I love to inspire people. So that was always a passion for me. It was so easy to sit down. So it didn't matter how discouraged I was or how sad I was feeling. I always had the ability to step into a role and just motivate people, inspire people, get people to just do what they needed to do with their lives. For another person, their passion might be animals. Their passion might be helping elderly people. Their passion might be leadership and leading teams. So to me, that passion is going to put you in a direction of what your purpose is. Passion ultimately is energy. And if you want to succeed in life, it's your energy that's going to drive you. And your passion could change. As you grow and evolve, your passions could change too, but there will always be that one particular thing that is almost like your fallback, that it makes you happy. It's something that you want to do. It excites you. It drives you. It instills this amazing sense of enthusiasm. That is real passion. And even if you look at everything that makes you passionate, there will always be that one particular thing that will drive you. And that is what is going to get you on your path of purpose. So when we go back to that question, I'll ask people, so what are you passionate about? What is something that you really love doing and that will drive you towards finding your purpose?
Thank you. We appreciate that response. Now we have got the next question that we are going to pose over to you. And the question is, how do we find our purpose?
We're going to find our purpose. The very first thing is you need to do that hard work on discovering who you are, which is that self-awareness. It means disempowering limiting beliefs that you have created about yourself, creating new empowering thoughts about yourself. It is becoming mindful of the world around you, being aware of the fact that you have an external world and you have an internal world. And your internal world is made up of your thoughts, your beliefs, your attitudes, your fears. And the external world is the situations and the circumstances that happen to you. So most of us will allow our external world to drive our behavior in our internal world. So as an example, if you have a bumper bashing on the road and the two cars connect and it upsets you, that external event has upset you internally in your world and you are now angry. So most people are allowing events from the outside world to affect the internal world. And that is part of your intuition. That is your inner peace and that is your inner being. If you want to connect back to source, you need to be in a place of calm, which means you need to be living from the inner world. Once you start living from your inner world and you start becoming mindful, you will see things around you that you never saw before. You'll be present. You start appreciating the beauty of the world. Then you start looking at things that make you happy. Actually acknowledge what makes you happy. What are things that you enjoy doing that make you happy? When you start understanding what makes you happy, you will start to identify your value system. What are the values? What is important to you? When you start living in your values and you start understanding what is important to you and you keep doing that on a daily basis, your whole life starts to shift. And you will slowly start to see what is important to you, what is driving your passion, what is igniting that flame that's deep down inside of you because it's there. But when you start living in the present, you are mindful, you are aware of things that are around you. You yourself are aware of your own behavior, your reactions. You are responding to the external world instead of reacting to the external world. When you start showing kindness to people around you, your compassion and your empathy starts to increase. When you start living from a place of gratitude, your purpose will suddenly start appearing because everything is so clear. You are connected back to source, back to the intuition that is deep down inside of you, which is your gift. It is sitting there. And as soon as you start opening yourself up to that self-awareness and reconnecting to yourself, you will find your purpose.
Thank you, Coach Nikki. Thank you. And we will be back with you again. We are going to ask Professor to come back onto our screens. Professor, the same question. Thank you, Professor. The same question to you as well. How do we find our purpose? What are the ways out there for us to identify our purpose?
Okay, thank you for the question. Yeah, the principle of purpose lies within the gifts and the talent, the combination of the gift and talent, which are abilities that are inherent. So your gift is an indication of your purpose. I'll say it again. Your gifts and talent that you are given by ultimate reality are indications of your purpose. Your purpose is not outside you, it's within you. All you need to do is to take inventory of your gift and talent by conducting self-assessment of what you have, an inventory of your ability. And it's very simple. Right from childhood, there are things you are doing naturally, effortlessly. There are abilities and passion and tendency that you are exhibiting naturally. Your parents, your sibling can see, your friends, they can see. So you go back to that. It is always there. So because the question of purpose is not a mystical thing. Let me debunk that tonight. Purpose is found within you. You are not going and seeking a prophetic word, or you seeking someone through prayer to find your purpose. No, it is within you. Your purpose is within you, and it's simple. It's your gift and your talent that indicate your purpose. Don't forget, I said earlier on today, your structure determines your function. You are structured to function. So that structure is ability that is embedded with you and is natural. When you begin to acknowledge those things, when you begin to come to the awareness, these are the indications of your purpose. However, you need direction. That's a different thing. You need direction. So this is where transpersonal inspiration comes in. You may find your purpose, but you are in a wrong environment. That's another question.
Wow. So you may find your purpose, but you're not ready.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do to be ready for your purpose? Is there a way that you can make yourself ready for your purpose? Is there a
Yes.
way of thinking? What do we do to get ourselves ready?
Yes. We once you are able to discover, the first journey is discovery. You discover. You can only function in what you know. You can only function in what you know. So once you discover, don't forget the gift is not matured. So you begin to invest into your gift and your talent, because to every purpose there is a season that is manifest. You grow into your purpose by undergoing developmental processes. A lot of people, they've discovered their gift, but they are not investing into their gift. If you don't invest into your gift, you will not fulfill your purpose, because your gift and your talent must be matured. And the process of maturation of your gift and talent is by investing time. And what does that mean? It's simple. Study, knowledge. Go and study your talent. The problem is our educational system does not train us to use our talent. It trains us to look for a job, not to be deployed. There's a difference between deployment and employment. The curse of our generation is employment. Many people are employed in a place that has killed their gift and their purpose. So for you to fulfill your purpose, you must first of all discover your gift and talent, invest time by studying and acquiring skills in the area of your gift and talent. And then you now move to a season of maturation to fulfill that purpose. Because glory and purpose, they go together. Some people, they found their purpose, they see the glory, but they don't have the strength or character to deliver it.
Wow. Amazing. Professor, thank you. We will be back. We are now going to go to Coach Nisha Zala. Coach Nisha, we have a question from you from one of our viewers. Mel says, how do we find our purpose when we live in a society that decides who you are and what you do? And when you do find the purpose, it all changes tomorrow. Do we have many purposes? So first of all, how do we find our purpose? And when we live in a society that decides who you are and what you do? And when you find the purpose, it all changes tomorrow. But I think before you answer, we've been talking about the purpose is your purpose, not a purpose for the society to decide for you what your purpose is. And I think we'll now be going back into what Professor just said about being employed and thinking that way. but we are talking solely on your personal purpose. Coach Nisha, how would you answer this one?
Thank you so much. And thank you, Melissa, for this question. You know, we live in a society that at times it can be chaotic. Our home life, it may not be supportive. They may not understand why you have a desire to do something. And, you know, we live in a world of noise, a world of chaos. And we have to really, I'm going to take you back to 2016. I was coaching and training at that time. Really, I stepped into my purpose. I was training vulnerable youngsters to really come out of their challenges of depression and anxiety. And, you know, I knew that the environment that I was living in was not conducive to the purpose. Therefore, I had no other choice but to leave the environment, to start to step away from that, to stop what I was doing. So I had to put my purpose on hold to really get to a place where I needed to be in an environment where I could nurture this purpose. And then as I did that, I moved to London. I was living in Essex at the time, and then started to, you know, eventually that same year I moved to London, my father had passed away. So you can imagine wanting, you know, raring for this purpose, but then, you know, obstacle after obstacle was happening, which my purpose was put on hold. However, in 2018, I did start to regain strength. And the thing is, when you are going on your purpose and walking in your purpose, it's going to take strength. It's going to take courage. It's going to, you know, take, you know, I love what Walt Disney says. In order for you to pursue your dreams, you have to step into your courage. And the thing is so important. So I would really, you know, really see where in your environment is it that is preventing you from stepping into your purpose. Start to think about what you need to do, whether that's friends, whether that's your home life, whether that's the people you're surrounded with your work. There's a lot of factors that come into that. And when you can start to take inventory and start to take ownership, you can start to step more and more into your purpose and start to walk with peace of mind in your purpose. But it does take a lot to get there, and it takes perseverance to get there. Thank you.
Amazing. We have another question for you coming up. And Anna says, good evening, and good evening to you. Thank you for joining us, Anna. Anna says, I often feel that I need to change my journey, and especially work related, and having roles that I never knew I would fancy, because I always dreamed about being a teacher or a singer. But now I find myself loving other jobs or things, and I think this my purpose? To love everything.
Thank you so much for that question. I think it's, you know, when we start to, we can get excited because there are so many things that we may start to, once we get to take the awareness and start to step into owning who we are, liking the things, you know, trying things out, test and try, and then when we can find things that we enjoy, we get passionate over it, and then it gets confusing. And the thing is, we want clarity. when purpose comes, it comes with clarity. And so with this confusion, and if there's multiple things, there's a great saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. We have to do the one or two things purposefully and passionately, and lift that off the ground, instead of doing everything, because when we do everything, we get depleted, we get worn out, we get burnt out, and then we stop enjoying the thing that we are meant to be doing. So really start to, we've had Coach Nikki and Professor sharing the same, get to know who you are, get to know your identity, get to know the things, and then from there, you will start to figure out what you're about and what you love to do and what is meaningful, because it's that meaning that will generate your perseverance to do the things that allow you to. Sometimes you're going to get tired days. I don't know if you get like that, lady, that you get tired. And the thing is, when you do get moments like that, your purpose will just wake you up, and it ignites you, and it's like, that's it.
Right.
I'm back on path again.
That's right. Your purpose jumps you out of your bed. It literally does. It wakes you up in the middle of the night and says, "Is it morning yet?" Thank you so very much. We will be back with you again, Coach. Touching on what Coach Nisha just said, I'll remind us again of some 5 points I gave earlier in ways of how to succeed, and the questions which we should ask ourselves. Who am I? Identifying your identity. Where am I from? Identifying your source. Why am I here? Identifying your purpose. What can I do? Identifying your potential. Where am I going? Identifying one's destiny. So I have those questions to ask oneself, and I'm advising us all, when we get some time later on, to ask ourselves, who am I? Where am I from? What am I here for? What can I do? And where am I going? And when we're breaking that down, what we want to be able to do is to happily walk in purpose like others do. They have an understanding of who they are. They understand what it is that they do, who they're doing it for. They understand what those people they're doing it for want or need, and what they are getting out of what they're doing. So how is it what they're doing change as a result? We are going to ask a couple of questions, and we are going to ask Coach Nikki, if you come back onto our screens, we have a couple of questions for you. And the first question is as follows. Princess Toying says, how do you identify your gift? And Princess Toying goes on to ask, some people can be multi-talented, and how do you choose which is best? We are going to put the first question back on the screen again, which is, how do you identify your gift? And over to you, Coach.
Thank you. So, Princess, in order to identify your gift, again, you need to have that ability to connect to your source, back to that inner self, which it's your self-awareness. But your gift a lot of times is going to come from your passion. That passion that you have is directing you, whether you realize it or not. And as you follow that passion, you will find that that gift is going to start appearing, and that gift is going to ultimately land you your purpose-driven life. So your purpose is your gift. That is what makes you unique. It was something that you were given, whether it be an ability to cook, whether it be an ability to speak in front of people, whether it be an ability to host TV shows and inspire people, whether it be the ability to be the president of the United States, whatever it is, that is the gift that you were given. So you will find your gift when you start understanding who you are, start understanding the person that you were meant to be. And that means letting go of what other people think about you, being concerned about the opinions of others, allowing society to dictate to you what you should and what you shouldn't be doing. When you come into your wholeness as the person that you are and the person that you were meant to be, your gift will start appearing, which a lot of the time is driven by your passion. Your passion is like a little spark that needs to ignite it. It's a little reminder that we are given when we arrive. That passion is what drives us to find our gift, which in turn will give you your purpose driven life, because most of us will disconnect completely to our inner self when we arrive because of our upbringings and everything that is placed on us and what society dictates to us, and the opinions and the views that other people place on us about how they think we should be doing things, people telling us how we should be living our lives, and we get all sort of caught up in this web, and in that we lose ourselves. So that's why that passion is that reminder, almost it was given to us to remind us to follow that passion, which will lead us to that gift, and that gift will allow you to live the life of your dreams. So follow the passion, your gift will eventually just appear.
Wow. That goes back to saying that your gift will make way for you.
It will.
It'll make way for you. Thank you, Coach. We have a number of comments to go through. So we're going to swift through as many as we can. And Coach will be back with you shortly. Mel says, the purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. Ralph Waldo Emerson, is this agreeable? The purpose of life is not to be happy. Well, the only bit that I don't agree with Ralph is that the purpose of life is not to be happy, because I think my purpose is to be happy every single God-given day on earth. But I also, however, agree with it is to be honorable, it is to be compassionate, it is to have to make some difference to that you have lived and lived well. Agree with the rest. Thank you, Mel, for sharing that. Jess D says, very informative. I'm on a journey of finding my purpose. I've done the Myers-Briggs 16 personality test and astrology, but find it overwhelming as the careers suggested aren't service based. It's amazing when you're going through that journey. And I always think once you start on that journey, Jess, you are bound to find the answer that you're looking for, because you are looking. Seek and you shall find. Keep reading. You're getting there. And remember those other questions that I asked earlier, to identify those questions and answer those questions for oneself. Vicky says, it's good to follow your heart and find your passion. Certainly is. Norma says, we can have more than one passion. Certainly. And Princess Toyin says, sometimes our passion can be scary. Wow, that's amazing. Wonder what your passion that's so scary is. I think as long as it's so big, Coach Nikki says your gift and your passion will always make a way for you. Your creator ensured that there's a way that there is for you. So hopefully it doesn't get too scary, because all the doors are open out there. It's there for you to carry out. Norma says, when we become a walk and find peace, we find our purpose. I like that. Vicky says, well, I'm off to follow my purpose and passion. I love the advertise. See you soon. Okay. And Donald, welcome onto the Extraordinary Achievers Show. Nice to have you here. And he says, very informative, well done. And thank you for being part of the Extraordinary Achievers. We would like to thank all our viewers from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, the various Facebook platforms that we air live on, and all the viewers from our website. We thank you for joining us every week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Amara says, gifts and talents, which are inherent abilities. Amara goes on to say, we are structured to function. We are so structured to function. Purpose is within, not outside you. Very true. Noma says, if you observe how children play, you can see their true purpose. As we come already prepared with purpose, when we become disconnected, we get taken off track. Yeah, very true. When one loses that children's innocence. Vicky says, overcoming the fear and obviously adjust the challenge, courage, what you all got. Thank you. We are going to read one more and then we'll be back against the comments. Princess Toyin says, thank you very much, Coach, and thank you for taking part and joining us. Tanya says, it was incredibly powerful session. Thank you, and thank you for being part of the show. And let me remind you again of those. Jess says, thanks, coaches. Can you suggest any resources? Let's bring a Professor back onto our screens. Professor, I'm just going to read through again those 5 things I want to remind everyone from, and then if you can please answer Jess's question. Number 1, please ask yourself, who am I? Number 2, please ask yourself, where am I from? Number 3, ask yourself, why am I here? Number 4, ask yourself, what can I do? Number 5, you need to ask yourself, where am I going? Professor, let's bring Jess's question on the screen. Can you suggest any resources on finding your purpose?
Yeah, the natural thing to do is you are your greatest resource. You are your greatest resource. In terms of looking for a framework or an exercise, you can take on personality test, then test on how to find your passion, which I can recommend to our host, and then he can put it on the website. So that there are resources that are available outside there, but most of them is about self-evaluation, self-inventory tools that allows you to look inward. Just like the 5 questions that our host just presented, it's called the 5 questions of life. If you can take your time, look at these 5 questions of life, and then you reflect on it, taking a reflective journey, spending time. The problem is that many of us, we are too busy. We don't spend time with ourselves. You can only find and take inventory about yourself by spending time with yourself. That is a starting point. Learn how to spend time with yourself, whether it's 30 minutes in a day, just spend time with yourself and reflect. Reflective thinking is a resource itself. Reflective thinking is a pathway for self-discovery. Reflecting on your life, on your achievement, on the feedback from the environment, just take time to reflect. So by practicing reflective thinking and also putting your reflection on a journal, have a reflective journal to yourself. Have a reflective journal. Practice the art of writing down things that come to your mind, feedback about people, and also, very simple, observe yourself. What is that thing that you do very easily? This is a simple resource. Just self-observation, observing yourself, the thing that you do effortlessly. These are indications. Because don't forget that talking about purpose, gifts are ability, inherent ability. That is the principle of gift. Gift is an ability that is given to you that you did not learn. It is never acquired. You do it effortlessly. You don't sweat. So just invest time, spend time with yourself, reflect on yourself. These are the resources that you will need. Yeah. Thank you.
Amazing. We are going to ask all our guests that we have this evening to share with us 60 seconds of wisdom on the line of purpose topic that we have today. Before we do that, so Professor, we will be back with you shortly. And as we're going to be asking all our guests to give us 60 seconds on their last thoughts of today on our topic for today, purpose. What is our purpose in life? And how do we find our purpose in life? And Princess Toyin says, thank you, Lady Winnet, for an extraordinary topic and all the guest speakers for shedding more enlightenment. Princess Toyin, the Extraordinary Achievers Show wouldn't be the Extraordinary Achievers Show without you and all our viewers and audiences that we have. I would like to say to you, Princess Toyin, you are an amazing sister. In every week, you're always so encouraging, and you uplift me in so many different ways. I would like to say thank you for being a rare gem. Thank you. We are now going to go back to all our guests today. And as we bring back Coach Nikki, thank you. Coach Nikki, 60 seconds.
Thank you so much. For me, a purpose-driven life is a life that each and every one of us is supposed to have. You need to remember that you matter. You are important. You are significant. And you are here for a reason, because the world needs you. And even though you might never understand why you are here, there is a purpose. You were put here to fulfill a need. And each and every one of us has a purpose and a need that needs to be fulfilled. So just to finish off, I think the words that sum up everything are the beautiful words written by Pablo Picasso. It says, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of your life is to give it away. And thank you so much for having me this evening.
Mindset coach Nikki Peterson, after walking away from an unfulfilling 22-year corporate career, going on to beating cancer, she embarked on a magical, transforming journey of self-discovery as she set out to find her purpose in life. Her website reads, "You only have one life, make it count." Coach Nikki, we thank you for joining us on the Extraordinary Achievers Show, and we will see you at the end of the show. Just to acknowledge you just one more time, we would like to welcome back onto our screens Coach Nisha Zala, a transformational, amazing speaker, a resilience therapist, a mental health coach, a TV and a film actress. Nisha Zala has gone from overcoming adversity to award-winning life coach and a transformational speaker. She has learned to be resilient from the storms of life and embrace the challenges life has thrown her way. Coach Nisha, what would you like to say in 60 seconds to our audience? Coach Nisha, you are on mute.
Amazing. So thank you so much for watching, for taking the time. It just shows that each and every one of you is here. You have taken the time to be here because your life matters and you are recognized that your life matters. Never give up. Never give up in life. Whatever you are, your dream is, whatever you want to do in this world, just go and do it. Your purpose is awaiting. Your destiny is birthed out of your adversities. You know, whatever you've gone through, it is not the end. You are stepping into your greatness. Let every ounce of that come through and step into it. My coach, if you can look up, you can get up. So I'm telling you, whatever your life is dictating to you right now, and that you're not stepping into your purpose, make today a commitment to yourself to step into your purpose, start to own who you are, discover who you are, and let the world embrace who you are. Thank you.
Amazing. That's absolutely fantastic. We would like to thank you, and we'll see you at the end of the program one more time. We want to welcome back Professor Oluwafemi Essen, who is a professor of transpersonal psychology at Elroy London University. He is the Vice Chancellor, PhD in transpersonal psychology, and a principal consultant in transpersonal psychology. He focuses on non-religious concept of spirituality, transpersonal psychology with psychosynthesis coaching, the development of the transpersonal self through spiritual coaching. Professor, please give us your 60 seconds snapshot on our purpose in life.
Thank you. Yeah. The goal of life is to release your hidden glory. The goal of life is for you to release your hidden glory. You owe it to us to die empty. Don't go and enrich the grave. Your responsibility is to discover and deploy your gift and talent on your way to fulfilling your purpose. I say it again. Your responsibility is to deploy, to release your gift and talent. Don't forget, you are born to solve a problem for humanity through your gift and talent. You are born to solve a problem for humanity through your gift and talent. Don't rob us of your gift. You have to die empty. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. We'll be back with you shortly to say our last goodbyes to you for this evening. Let's type into what I said earlier and I shared earlier, because this really, really helped me. Number one, who am I? Identify your identity. Number two, where am I from? Identifying your source. Number three, why am I here on earth? Identifying your purpose. Number four, what can I do? Identifying your potential. Number five, where am I going? Identifying your destiny. And why? Because the people that are happy walking in purpose, they have an understanding of who they are, self-awareness. Who are they? They understand what is it that they do. What are they doing? What is it? Who are they doing it for? They understand what those people they're doing it for want or need. Number five, and what are they getting from what they are doing? What do they change as a result? Asking oneself questions. Let's just go on to some comments very, very quickly. We apologize that we are overrunning today, but we've had so much to share. Bangi says, brilliant show. Once again, an amazing guest. And thank you. Louisa says, awesome show is always well done. And Louisa Ati, we thank you. Patricia Bailey, one of the most amazing people on planet Earth, says, an inspiring show, and you are super inspiring. Norma say the world is waiting for our gifts, and we are waiting to just share them with you. And that is Wahoo Adepeju says, and thank you for that comment. Norma says, Professor, you should listen to my podcast as we are on the same page. Thank you. And Noel Stewart says, amen. Vangi says, words of wisdom, Professor. Thank you. And we would like to thank all our guests for they have shared some amazing comments today. A world of knowledge came from them. Earlier, I said, when I'm asked for my work purpose, this is my statement I give. I say, I train entrepreneurs and creative people to take decisive actions so they can get their greatest work in the world. And when I'm asked, what is my personal purpose? I say, I change people's lives by making their dreams become their reality. And then the conversation carries on from there. We thank you for this time, for sharing this time with us. And we hope that we've created some awareness that you may be able to think about your purpose, or maybe able to expand your purpose. Please do share with someone that would like to hear today's message, as so much has been discussed. It's surely useful for someone else out there. We thank you for sharing. We thank you for watching. We thank you for joining us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. as we look at topics of interest into the community and affairs. We would like to welcome all our guests back onto our screens. As we say, Professor, we thank you. Coach Nikki, Coach Nisha, we thank you so very much for joining us on the Extraordinary Achiever Show. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. And thank you for imparting some new knowledge and emphasizing on some of those things that we thought we knew. And thank you for saying yes. I would like to share some food for thought. Have you ever thought that the future is a thought in our head? The future can only appear in the now, in your form of consciousness. What we do in the now shapes our future. So as we're thinking about the future, let's see how we shape our now. We would like to say thank you for being amazing. We would like to say thank you to the Extraordinary Achievers team that work in the background, the media team. We like to say thank you to you, the admin team, thank you, and to every single person that has shared today's program. We would like to say may God bless you and enjoy walking in purpose. Until next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m., we would like to say good night from the Extraordinary Achievers Show. Good night, coaches. Good night.
Good night. Beautiful.
Good night, and thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. And until next week, Wednesday, good night from now.
Thank you for watching. You can now follow us on Facebook and subscribe our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and comment.